Welcome to Clash of Health. Thanks for being here today. I have been flipping through old notes from Akashic weather information dating back, starting back in 2022 into now 2023. I noticed a journal entry when I was in the Akashic records back September 23rd, 2023, exactly 1 year before Hurricane Helene hit Asheville and surrounding states on the 24th of September into the 27th of September. So this was 1 day before, 1 year before the hurricane. What was Hanuman trying to say? Do not be afraid of what is to come. I stand before you always. Put your pen to your thoughts and you will see what I'm trying to say. The drift of nature will hold the cauldron of yestermorrows. The piercing sword of precision will be necessary to mount the next phase of your existence. Discipline, yes, and even more will be required. Surrender to the now moment. This is it for now. And then I write, fearing this, yes, this is so. And this is almost like automatic writing. Lake of many thoughts will converge as one in a sea of change and I wrote hiberneath, tranquility and hypocrisy. Find your way to your own truth. Hypocrisy sounds like hypocrisy, but I wrote up hypocrisy, and let go of another, for only your treasure map is real for your journey. Each has its own map to follow. This is important to note. Each person has their own map to follow. There are universal laws, but they are to be followed specifically for each individual. I feel that I need to be in my backyard today. So it's kind of funny. I went outside. So I got that message. And then along the same lines, fowls. This is October 5th, 2023. It will start raining soon and there will be wailing in the streets. The corridors will be filled with love. Do not besiege the moment of glory as it is upon you and man. Be with the faith of many. Yes, stay with the flock of God and all will be righted. All will be well. Jesus saying, stay on the ground. I see red. I will meet you there. The light will be shining brighter and brighter. The illuminations might be too much for many people. I went to the heaven and sat for a moment with Jesus, and he looked down and earth went dark for a moment. Do not be afraid. The truth will be revealed soon. So it's interesting that earth became dark and certainly the power was out for everyone for the first few days and then varying degrees to many people over the next month and a half. We know what it is like to be where you are. Okay, so that's right on the hub of it. And then I write on 10/18, last night I had a dream that I was forewarned that there might be a missile of some sort near my house. I also found out it might be near my friend's home, her home was okay, but her street was blocked with trees, and she lost her power for an extended period of time, and she was without water for an extended period of time. She ended up coming over to my house to shower and do laundry. She wasn't listening. I told her to trust her gut, to trust her intuition. Hopefully that was enough. I drew the past unknown card. And then I say, let's see, this is funny, just so ironic. October 20th, same year, 2023. I want to play. Can I play? There's much work to be done. You're on an important mission to save planet Earth. For now, rest. Find time to rest. Harness your energy. The truth has begun and will, and, and with greater frequency, things will be revealed. You will see me in the weather patterns most assuredly. My son is with you, child, and you are most protected. Find your way through the maze of truths and lies. Harness your energy through proactive practices. Bring greater life to your being. And then on, let's see, this is December 28th. Be among the few who will witness the rebirth of Christ. The fallen ones will soar to new heights. I don't know what that means. And there you go. So that really, to me, indicates the hurricane, the hurricane quote that was coming. And they describe it as a missile. All right, so now I'm going to get into the Akashic weather report for yesterday and today. One of the things that came up that kind of goes along with, quote, conspiracy theories was the Denver airport came up today. And information around the tunnels. And I think that the tunnels and drug and human trafficking and the border situation all are tied together in a very weird way. And I think that there are players who are extremely dark, who are manipulating. Well, I'm going to just read it. I'll let you figure it out. I'm going to put something that I looked up with the Denver airport in the notes, and we'll take it from there. So on the 7th of June, 2025, which was yesterday, the fairies wished me congratulations on my 10-mile run. They said that they had a flower for me. They handed me a flower. And then a loved one came through and they said, watch out for those who are painting themselves as something they aren't. Be mindful of the walk before you. The path is narrowing greatly. The breezeway will get windy. I see stormy water and here better shores are ahead. I'm just skipping over some storm and clouds, raining. It's in my mind, and then I see a rainbow from sea to shining sea. So it's really interesting. This came through last night when I got into bed. And I decided to go into the Akashic Records right before I went to sleep, which is very unusual. I usually do it in the morning time. I'm actually doing it later today. It's the early afternoon. But I almost never do it when I did it last night. And it was during a period called a Sunday period, a period between day and night. And so I go in, and that's a time where you don't normally want to do like anything like eating, or it's kind of a unstable time of the day. It's a time of change. And because of the instability, you want to be careful of what you do during the Sunday periods, right before dusk and right at dusk and right at dawn. So anywho, how I decided why not? I'm just going to go into the Akash. So I go in and I get this message about storm clouds, rainbows, sea to shining sea. And as I'm getting this information, the clouds come in, there's this rainstorm, there's a thunderstorm. So it was just kind of interesting. And I didn't know what I was going to find in the Akashic Records from 2023 today. So very synchronistic. And then I saw Donald Trump, and he came through as like the trumpet of the tarot card. And I don't know what is a judgment. I guess it's Judgment Day. He came through as like the trumpet player of the tarot. I'm going to try to pull up a picture of it. Actually, I'm going to try to do that right now. So I'm going to read this to you. I just pulled this up. It's off AI. I'll let you look up the picture of the Judgment card. The tarot card featuring a trumpet is the Judgment card. This card is a part of the major arcana and is associated with a call to spiritual awakening, transformation, and new beginnings. In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Judgment card depicts an angel, often depicted as Gabriel, blowing a trumpet, signifying this call. The trumpet itself symbolizes the sound that awakens individuals from their slumber and prompts them to face their destiny. Very interesting. He came through as like maybe his purpose is to be blowing the trumpet, blowing open, I don't know, just the paradigm that we've been going under, the Great Awakener. He's like this Uranian trumpet blower. And then I was thinking trumpet, like Trump, ET. Trumpet is Trump ET. So I was like, is he? I really think Melania is an ET. I wonder if he's an ET too. I know he works with, different levels in the Akash. I don't want to get too specific on it, but I've seen him working with members, kind of getting orders. So just really interesting that came through. I saw myself reading stool books. I was just studying in the Akash. I'm writing a memoir and I saw myself finishing it. Commencing with the journey that has been started. Children, this will help children. So commencing with the journey that has been started makes me think of the journey in uncovering when right before the quote hurricane happened, or it was a hurricane, however it came through, it was it was hurricane force winds and rain, etc. Anyway, prior to the hurricane, I got a lot of like clues that there was more to it than met the eye, and that there was some tempering with weather and weather manipulation and crystal rain and Ho Chi Minh Trail, which is when it first occurred, when we manipulated the weather in Vietnam so that we could make the trail between North and South Korea or South Vietnam treacherous for the Viet Cong, the North Vietnamese. So I got all those clues, but today, looking back into 2023, it just kind of reinforces it. So commence with the journey that has been started, and then children. This will help children, question mark. Undoubtedly so. ABCs need to learn our ABCs, the fundamental of life. This is what is missing. Children are led into the dark instead of the light. Knowledge needs to be illuminated. And then Job. Job is, I think, the patient one. What is next? Watch, do not engage. Jesus once again said, go fishing. Fish for the truth, I guess. Let the dead bury the dead. Whitewater rafting. Really interesting. Jacob's ladder, pillar of faith to continue on the unknown path into the light body. Who will do this? I asked, and I was told very few people will make it into the unknown, from the unknown path to the light body. Very few will make the transition, but enough will to make a difference. The blind will follow the blind. Greed, fear, sorrow begets sorrow. And then I was taken to Jacob in the Bible. What was his role in salvation? I hear a baby being given to an unfit mother, heartless. This cannot and will not continue, ushering in a new age of love. I see a wood bench and like a bird, maybe a bluebird. Take flight. The time is now to move to the next stage of existence. And then today, I was in the Akash and Catacombs of Change. I saw like a hydroglyph. Is that the word? Where there's writing on the wall. Sorry if I've got the wrong name of it. Parlaying with fools will get you nowhere. Maybe that's what it says on the wall, and they said, yes, that's a writing on the wall. Parlaying with fools will get you nowhere. I heard a tea kettle steaming, and it was kind of like I was thinking about a part of my life that I've had to grapple with that's been difficult, and I think it was like almost like a steaming inside. I get uneasy when I think of the National Guard in California. I saw like a little clip that the National Guard is now in California, and I get a like not a good feeling. And then Puerto Vallarta, question mark. I read somewhere recently, and I don't know if I'm just kind of pulling from my subconscious. It really doesn't make sense, but I'm gonna go with it and just trust it's accurate that there's places in Mexico now where it's not safe for Americans to be. There's like warnings about it, and one of them is like a vacation spot, Puerto Vallarta. I heard a plane and think of a seaplane. It feels like the president of Mexico and Trump are at a standstill. And I said to myself, does the president of Mexico get money from the cabal to allow the border issue to continue? So I looked up that information. Apparently, there's a female president, I think for the first time in Mexico. She's very composed. And apparently, from a video, she's saying that fentanyl trafficking is down 40%. Now, I found that out after I was in the Akash. Feels like the trafficking underground more of a standstill also, and the Denver Underground Airport came up. And that has come up in the Akash before, how much evil is being done underneath Denver, especially like the south tunnel of the airport that came through, I don't know, maybe a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago, probably in the last like 8 months or something. And um, so I went down, and it was just so claustrophobic and so stifling. And there was like a guard, and I didn't really even want to get beyond the guard. So I just kind of backed out. Um, and then I, of course, did my research afterwards, and it looks like there's so much, quote, conspiracy theory about the cabal underneath the Denver airport that the airport now has like pictures of like devil figures and, draconic figures to kind of make fun of the conspiracy theorists, which I find quite interesting. I am told you don't want to see what is happening under there. Trump trying to mitigate it, I question, and I got a yes. And then they said only someone with dirt on their hands already can begin to help clean up the mess that is occurring in your world. So he is who he is, and he's the only figure they say can combat the dirt because he's already played in it. His soul has already played in it in the past, in his ancestry, possibly. I'm just projecting, but that's kind of how it came through. Like, it is dirty work far beyond your comprehension. Let it go for now. Birds flying high, you know how it feels. So stay on the high vibe, the high playing field. I said, I just want to know to give context to the people listening to this. And they said, we understand. And then they said pesticides in your apples, very harmful in nature. And toy guns came through lastly. That's it. It was kind of an interesting one today. Thanks for listening. And any comments you have, let me know. And of course, this is my information based out of going into this etheric space in the Akash, where I'm seeing what is coming through to me, and it's my truth. It might not be yours. So always use discretion and your own judgment. judgment. Have a good day.